Man is in custody tonight, accused of shooting a 2-year-old boy with a shotgun. It's the latest on a story we've been tracking for you since this afternoon. Police tell Fox 47 they were called to Barrett Avenue in Blackman Township just after 12:30 for a shooting. When they arrived, they found a 2-year-old had been shot in the face. Police say the mother and a man were involved in a dispute when the mother loaded the child into a car and went to leave. That's when the 32-year-old Blackman Township man came out with a shotgun and shot the child through the rear passenger window. He then fled in a car, and police later arrested him without incident. Neighbors we spoke with today tell us they are shocked because this area is usually pretty quiet.
We kind of heard like maybe kids making noises, and we opened up the side door to look, but we didn't see anything. So nothing's ever happened. Like say, a few years ago, the credit union was robbed, but other than that, we've never had any problems at all around the neighborhood at all.
The child remains in critical condition at Henry Ford Allegiance Hospital. The suspect is being held in the Jackson County Jail. We'll let you know when he's arraigned. Michigan State University provost took the stand in day 4 of former President Luana K. Simon's preliminary exam today. Dr. June Youat was the third of 4 witnesses so far. Kylie Kahn has a recap of today's proceedings.
The day began with cross-examination of Paulette Granberry Russell, the director of MSU's Office for Inclusion. Last week, the state entered into evidence an email she sent to Simon, which referred to an incident with a sports medicine doctor. Russell testified today she never gave a name.
You don't recall ever mentioning the name Larry Nassar in 2014 to President Simon, true? Yes, about 100 times, but you went through that again. So I'll move on as soon as I get the answer. Yep. Correct?
Correct.
2 other witnesses testified today, including MSU Provost June Youat and Simon's former assistant, Marty Howe. Youat said she knew about Nassar in 2014 when she was told by William Strample. Howe took prosecutors through Simon's calendars from early 2014.
And that was Kylie Kahn reporting. Simon's preliminary exam will continue on June 11th when the state is expected to call more witnesses. It was a great day for southern mid-Michigan and a nice day up north too, but Andy, it's feeling a little damp and cool out there now.
Yeah, it all evens out eventually, Sarah. The cooler weather has settled south now, so after they were at 70 degrees, Jackson had a high of 69, while it was about 64, 65 to the north, and only in the 50s when you got north of St. John's. A few sprinkles this evening, racing off to the east, and now a front has synced south. It's going to come back north as a warm front tomorrow, so that will eventually bring the 60s back into the picture, and we're hoping that we also get a little peak of sun. Maybe we can get temperatures above 60. The winds out of the north right now. As far as rainfall, well, there's just a few sprinkles around and they raced off to the east. We have mostly cloudy skies. Some fog's going to fill in. A little bit of light fog for the morning hours. Temperature wise, these were the highs. 64 in Lansing, 69 Jackson, Hillsdale, Coldwater. You guys got to the low 70s, so a little better place to be, but not bad around the region. It's cool down now. 40s will sink southward. Everybody has lows in the 40s tonight. Then we'll warm it up. Our warmest day is going to probably be Thursday, but it's accompanied by showers and thunderstorms. Going into the weekend, there's some chances of rain there too. We got a lot to talk about in just a little bit.
All right, Andy, thank you. 2 Lansing men are behind bars in Eaton County accused of robbery. Grand Ledge police say it happened last night just before 11 o'clock at the Quality Dairy on Willow Highway. One of the men is accused of walking into the store, pointing a gun at the clerk and demanding money. Investigators say he jumped in a car with another man who led police on a chase before crashing in Bath Township. The 46-year-old and 26-year-old are facing 2 felonies, one for armed robbery and another for fleeing and eluding police. Today is marking a beginning. That is how Bishop Earl Boyer of the Lansing Catholic Diocese described the release of a racism task force report. The task force was created after a snowball of events. The chairman of the task force, Dr. Joan Jackson Johnson, says the main objective was to see if there was a problem with racism. After more than a year, members found there is, as one of the biggest complaints was differential treatment of minorities. The report recommends several fixes at different levels in the church.
Education, 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 and it has to start with the bishop and roll down to administrators and teachers and families as well.
In October of 2017, 4 student athletes at Lansing Catholic High School knelt during the national anthem at a football game. They were disciplined because a lot of people felt they were disrespecting veterans and the flag. The state is going to be working with the Humane Society to shut down puppy mills in Michigan. The Attorney General's office has received nearly 20 complaints of puppy scams since 2017. Some of them involve puppy mills that don't deliver the same dogs they promised, often leaving owners with huge vet bills. The Attorney General's office will formally announce the partnership with the national and state chapter of the Humane Society on Thursday. The Attorney General also says she will not enforce state laws that ban abortion if Roe v. Wade is overturned. Democrat Dana Nessel told a Planned Parenthood conference in Lansing today it's likely the 1973 ruling legalizing abortion will be reversed, but she says, quote, "We can and will fight back." Nessel promised to never prosecute a woman or her doctor for terminating a pregnancy. You'll now be able to show your Detroit sports team pride on your license plate. Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson announced new state plates featuring the logos of the Lions, Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers. Proceeds from the plates will go to each team's charitable foundation. Any of the plates can be ordered online, by mail, or at any Secretary of State's office. We have the details up on our website, fox47news.com. The French president tonight speaking out to those mourning the loss of the Notre Cathedral, promising to rebuild within 5 years. More on tonight's vigil and the recovery effort. Plus, one musician's talent is going to the dogs, and she wouldn't have it any other way. How her talents are helping one Nebraska animal shelter. But first,
days before the anniversary of the Columbine shooting, the building goes into emergency response mode due to a credible threat. I'm Alicia Acuna in Denver. I'll have that story coming up.
Sarah Swistak, Storm Shield Weather with Brett Collar. This is Fox 47 News at 10.
Columbine High School and more than 20 other schools in the Denver area were put on lockdown today, just days before the 20th anniversary of the deadly high school massacre that killed 13 people. The FBI is looking for the 18-year-old behind the threat, who they say is armed and dangerous. Fox News correspondent Alicia Acuna has more in Denver.
A security threat at Columbine High School just days before the community and the nation mark 20 years since the 1999 mass shooting. Police say they received a, quote, credible threat, but the threat did not name a specific school. Nearly 20 schools in Jefferson County went into lockout mode, meaning exterior doors are locked, but inside operations and classes continue as normal. Officials are now seeking this 18-year-old woman from Florida in connection with the threat, said to be armed and dangerous and infatuated with Columbine.
Any threats involving Columbine or our schools we take at an elevated rate. So we're always aware of the situation here.
Colorado's former governor and presidential candidate, John Hickenlooper, was meeting with people impacted by other mass shootings. Michael Davis's daughter was killed in 2013 at her school in the same district as Columbine. He told Hickenlooper he'd like to see more funding go to educators.
Troubled kids in our schools, and nobody knows about it. The teachers and administrators are the first line. They're going to see that, and they need support and help.
Columbine survivors acknowledge how different things are for their own kids 20 years after they experienced the horror of gunfire in the classroom.
It just made me really sad that our kids have to do lockdown drills and have to be talked to about these kind of things.
The 1999 shooting at Columbine left 12 students and a teacher dead. The 2 student shooters killed themselves in the school library. In Denver, Alicia Acuna, Fox News.
Today marks the 12th anniversary of the mass shooting at Virginia Tech University. Students and alumni gathered on Virginia Tech's campus to honor the 32 lives lost on this date. At 9:43 a.m., the VTech rescue squad laid a wreath at the memorial on campus, followed by a moment of silence to mark the exact time when the second attack started. Cadets stood guard for 32 minutes, each one representing the life of a victim lost. For only the second time since becoming president, President Donald Trump has issued a veto. Congress passed a bill to end U.S. military assistance in the Saudi Arabia-led civil war in Yemen. Lawmakers had concerns over the kingdom's involvement in the death of journalist Jamal Khashoggi, as well as alleged war crimes. The president pushed back, saying the bill endangers the lives of U.S. citizens and service members. Congress does not have enough votes to override the veto. A town in southwest Delaware was rocked by an EF2 tornado last night. This drone video shows the extent of the damage. The path of destruction spanned about 10 miles, with the twister knocking out power and ripping roofs off of homes. At least a dozen buildings suffered damage. No word right now on if anyone was hurt. The fire is out, but the process of restoring the centuries-old Notre Dame Cathedral will take much longer. Meanwhile, the world is paying tribute to Paris as it mourns the parts of the iconic cathedral that were consumed by the flames. Reed Binion has the latest.
Parisians gathering for a second day to pay tribute to their beloved Lady of Paris. Singing, praying, and lighting candles. Notre Dame still standing, though charred and disfigured after being ravaged by fire Monday. French President Emmanuel Macron speaking to his nation and the world, vowing to rebuild Notre Dame, even surpassing its original splendor. While Macron wants it done in 5 years, others caution it could take a lot longer to restore the 850-year-old Gothic masterpiece. Before that effort can begin, accurate damage assessments are of critical importance, as are structural reinforcements to ensure the cathedral's integrity. One thing that won't stand in the way, money, with hundreds of millions of dollars in donations already coming in. French billionaires